In Stage 2, MIBR have looked flat out terrible. Until today. Aspas dropped a nuke on Icebox to take the map, but once they went down 10-2 on Bind, all hope seemed lost. It seemed like it was going to go to Haven as the decider, and even if they were able to win Icebox as they did, it could be written off as some sort of fluke, an Aspas life game, and the game would still end up going to 100 Thieves. However, that was not the case. 100 Thieves had a brutal choke of this map, and the people that really stepped up for MIBR, it wasn't Aspas, it wasn't Verno, it was, funnily enough, especially towards the end there, Cortesia, doing a wonderful job on the Viper to try and kind of save this team on MIBR. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what exactly caused 100 Thieves to throw such a huge advantage and give MIBR a chance to qualify to Champions. I'm Lionzblade. Please subscribe if you like my content. It would mean a ton. I'm trying to hit 10K by the end of the year, and let's get into it. Also, go follow my Twitter or join my Discord if you want to see more schizophrenic thumbnails like these. Look at this, bro. You absolutely have to have this pistol round if you want any hope of coming back for MIBR, and even then it seems very far-fetched. However, this round is a beautiful example of why this Viper wall right here that you'll see here and on your minimap is king on Bind. It completely denies information from everyone on the A site. So Kess right here has no idea, even he does hear the smokes go down, but he has no idea that MIBR are this close because no one else on the site has info. The Viper wall goes up, completely denies information, and boom, you're able to get that pretty free kill onto Kess. However, it's not all fun and games from then. Cryo and Asuna were both on one. I think Asuna was 8-0 in first kill, first death. Both of these players played extremely well, but I mentioned earlier, Cortesia really just took this game over. A ton of clutch moments, especially on the comeback. We're about to see that again here. Now, when MIBR just sit here for a little bit, they're deciding to cut noise. They're hoping that they can get someone on 100 Thieves to go rotate over towards B, stay there, and they'll have a 1v2 on site once they can plant. It'll be, obviously a lot better for them if that's the case. However, Xander ends up coming back because of this smoke right here. 100 Thieves are still going to, wait back there. They're not over-aggressing into the site, but MIBR, as soon as they start to plant, you start to see 100 Thieves game plan, which is Asuna is about to just peek out off this tap. You'll see it right about here. Bang. But Cortesia is pretty hidden. He has no idea Cortesia would be right there. So he gets both kills and clutches out the pistol around there to make it 3-10. Trust me, he'll have a lot more clutch moments soon. Now, MIBR are going to need to win this bonus round if they want a chance at winning the game. So what do they do first? Quick pop over onto B long, spam to try and deny the cross, but I love the game plan after that, which is when you're playing against a Yoru, you need to try and exhaust the TPs. You'll see Cryo already TP'd over towards B, and you'll see it right back here, this TP that he set and then immediately used. Then he's forced to set a TP back over towards A, which means now that MIBR just need to keep waiting and playing patiently and waiting and waiting and waiting. And as you'll see here, they go into hookah, Cryo TP's back A, and boom, he's out of TPs. A huge strength of 100 Thieves defense is Cryo's ability to reinforce whatever site the hit's on. And now that's gone. Even with it being a 4v4 and them now being without Artson, who didn't do too well today. I think he was 9-21 with like 9 first deaths. Yeah, he performed a lot better last week, but hopefully he'll be able to bounce back. But I love the gameplay for MIBR here. Now they're hitting, yes, a stacked site, but they're able to go ahead and take control, really, of those fights. This Poison Orb here completely just does its job, and Cryo isn't able to get the kill onto Aspas, which leads into some uncomfortable fights being taken, especially after Cortesia kills Cryo. Now, Kess feels like he has to go ahead and get a kill, has to try and regain some of this advantage back, but 100 Thieves have a savior. Xander is able to get 2 here, give them a fighting chance back into this round, but Cortesia and Sheenum do a wonderful job here. Sheenum gets the kill there, Cortesia there, and MIBR convert the bonus round. Let's see if they can keep it up. However, 100 Thieves just won a round, so MIBR have to be near perfect if they want a chance of winning this game or taking it to overtime. First off, they keep it simple. They go ahead and take this orb with a dog and a flash, so Artson can get the Yoru ult online, and then everything should be a lot easier for them. Yoru ult is very high impact. I do want to mention right here, Cortezia actually threw his own Viper Orb almost like a defender would, so he could get into this little lurk spot here. It's very interesting, honestly. You'll see literally, I mean, the orbs are right next to each other. They effectively do the same thing, just for different reasons. Both of them for a cross, but obviously for different people. Now, I do love, Verno bought a Bucky here, and he was the one that had it, passes it off to Artson for the Yoru ult, try and give him a chance to do something, right? Go, pop out, relive the prime Yoru days where he would, I guess this is prime Yoru day, but the old Yoru days where he would just pop out of his ult and get a kill with a shorty or something. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out, and then Asuna gets the ult online, actually kills Aspas there. But look at what MIBR do here. They TP over to A. Now, remember, this area was not safe. They didn't have a lurker over here, so it was a risky TP, but they would rather go into that than what they knew was going to happen at B. Now, you're probably upset at Kess for overpeaking here, and I completely understand why, but his reasoning is, look, Cortezia already has a pit online. 5v3 with the pit is definitely winnable for MIBR. He wanted to try and stop that from happening. Now, unfortunately, he wasn't able to, but he did want to try. Now, Verno is 2 HP. Sheenum's not much better. A single stray bullet on either of these guys is going to have them meet their demise. Sheenum dies, then Verno does. But I mentioned Cortezia is a guy who just steps up. He stepped up beautifully on this map here. Again, so many clutch moments, and he has another one here. As you'll see, 100 Thieves, they decide to have two people go kind of behind into this pit, and then Cryo is caught jumping. I assume he's going to try and shorty him, but again, stands up. I love his energy, clutches around, and trust me, when it gets later, you're going to see even more moments just like this from him. Amazing stuff. Now, MIBR are one round away from tying things up with 100 Thieves, potentially winning the game, or at least taking them to overtime here. I want to talk about this Yoru ult play that they do on Cryo, who has the op long, because it actually was kind of messed up. As you'll notice here, as Artson tries to go over towards long, pops that Yoru ult, there are a couple of flaws with this plan. Number one, the Brim stem is right there, so it's very obvious to Cryo people are backing, you know, they're right down there going to fight this. Number two, if you'll notice, this flash, and I probably could pause it on a better time, this flash is actually mistimed to where it only really flashes Aspas. Now, I don't know if this is Artson flashing too early or Aspas going too early, but all this does is full blind Aspas. Now, don't get me wrong, he's still able to get the kill, but there were just a couple of things that weren't as, you know, flawless as they could have been. They're lucky Cryo missed the original op shot. But even with that, even with the first blood, the raid boss of 100 Thieves being down, once this pit comes out, MIBR are forced into going A, right? Now, they've TP'd without really having any space over towards A a couple times now. They've shown they don't really take the threat of 100 Thieves having someone pushed all the way up into A seriously, especially not when Yoru's dead. And once they get towards A, yet again, it's Cortezia just showing off that he's a guy who you can depend on in the clutch. I mean, this one was just absolutely beautiful. Even though it's a 5v4, Cortezia literally just kills everyone. And I mean everyone. Listen to this reaction.
Starts off with a beautiful combo, as you just saw here from the Satchel Flash. Aspas being the sacrificial lamb and still gets the pick out of that. And look at how he's...
On the last round of the game, I think the momentum is already completely shifted to the side of MIBR. You've been down 2-10, gotten to a point where you are one round away from winning in overtime. 100 Thieves need something here. You need something that you can do. And at first, it looks like they have an early advantage they can hold on to and try and go, okay, I know we've been throwing, but we can win this round and go on to win the game. But that's not what happens here. As you'll see, 100 Thieves get to a really early advantage. Cryo's able to get a pick with the op. Kess got the first blood. He was able to get two right there. But in the 3v2, navigating with an op is so weird. It's why it's very, very, very hard to trust anyone but one of the best oppers, which granted, Cryo is. But if you do not have a top op player, it's very risky to go ahead and force buy a glass op in these situations because it makes everything so difficult if you do get into a retake situation. Even up numbers here, Aspas on this off angle just completely eliminates 100 Thieves numbers. As you'll see, they didn't expect him up there. He gets both kills. Now Cryo is forced into a situation where he has to 2v1. Granted, he's able to pick up a Phantom, but time is already so unbelievably low here. And you'll see, he knows it. right? As soon as Aspas kind of misses this satchel, watch his player cam. He's laughing. He knows that this game is over, and now he's not laughing because he realized they just choked a 2-10 lead. I loved what I saw from MIBR here. If Artson could play the Yoru that he played last week, I really think MIBR can get back on track and be true contenders. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the content, make sure to subscribe. Click on one of these videos right here if you like my content, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.